nobody comes knocking on my door wondering who I'm talking to. I think I've really lost it. Okay, my name is Megan. I am 38 years old. I'm told I don't look my age, which is kind of nice, but sometimes it's annoying. I have bipolar 1 disorder. The diagnosis started out as bipolar 2 because I was still functioning at the time, still working, relationships and that, but in reality, what was going on in my brain, I just was at the time was a high functioning bipolar 1. I could hit it pretty easily for a long time. And before the diagnosis, in my mid to late 20s, about 26, 27, I definitely had symptoms of depression. Through young adulthood, teenage years. I specifically remember being depressed as a child, but who's to say if that wasn't what was going on in my environment at home. But I definitely did have depression as a child. I believe as a teenager I did have episodes of at least hypomania. But you know, when you're a teenager, you're just kind of like that anyway, so anyway, I wanted to do a blog. I'd seen blogs on YouTube for different illnesses, disorders and things that people have done, and so I wanted to do one. Just to help people, especially who maybe have just been diagnosed or who have been diagnosed for a while but are struggling, or especially people who are close to someone who has just been diagnosed. The first thing I want to say though is that my experience by no means is going to be what you are to expect for somebody else's experience. Like if you know someone who's just been diagnosed and you listen to my experience, you can't assume that that's what's going to occur, that it's going to be as severe for them, because there are degrees. Because I don't want anybody to freak out because I do have kind of a severe form. Not the most severe that I've ever seen in my experience, but when I have an bad episode, it's bad. So that's what the blog, well, first of all, I'm very, have a lot of anxiety socially, so I'm gonna stutter and stammer a lot and and backtrack, so maybe it'll get easier with each little blog. But this little piece is just what I want it to let you know what I want it to be about. The other following ones that are going to be after this. I am going to be using cheat sheets because my memory gets all fuddled when I get nervous, and other memory problems. But I will be talking about just living with bipolar disorder, medications, terminology, symptoms, the different diagnoses, everyday living, how to do with family and friends, doctors, therapists, etc. I'll be drawing primarily from my own experience because that is what I know best. I will also be drawing from the beaucoup amounts of literature that I've read Um, Literature that I know to be uh, reliable information. Um, as I mentioned before, everybody's experience is unique. You may have some things in common with what I've experienced, and there may be some things that just you don't get because you just, fortunately didn't ever have to go there. But, or it just may be that your experience, I don't want to talk about it in terms that, oh, mine's worse than yours, because I don't think there is such a thing. Well, I have bipolar 1, you only have bipolar 2. I don't. That's what I mean by everybody's experience is unique. So you'll have some things in common, maybe not. Maybe my experience will be totally foreign to you. I'll be talking as someone who has bipolar disorder, who's read information, who's dealt with it, been in it, in the trenches for over 10 years. Not as a professional. I'm not a therapist, I'm not a doctor. Also, I want to mention that nobody really has pinpointed truthfully, exactly, certainly, that what exactly causes bipolar disorder. There are a few different really good ideas, theories. You'll read different ones. Some of them are completely bizarre to me. I go with the explanation that something, somehow, has caused the neurotransmitters, the chemicals in your brain that control so much of your behavior and mood, has either released too much of something and or too little of something, or it just isn't being absorbed as it should be. I followed neurotransmitters as a brain disorder, a biological, medical explanation. That's the theory I go by. That's what I believe. You're entitled to your own beliefs from what you read. I just get scary when people read things that imply or encourage people to stop taking their medication. But that's a whole different blog. So I've said basically what the blogs will be about, a little bit about myself, briefly. I will get more in depth about my own experience at a later time. And bear with me, I'll probably become more comfortable. And with time, talking to a camera, I have this like little wooden carved angel that I'm kind of talking to. It's a little awkward. But that's it, and hopefully it won't be too long before the first blog.